Hey, what's up everyone? I know it's been a while since I've done my last eye critique. It's just been busy, but we are right here. We are back. It is Thursday, so that means we are on eye critique number 15, and you know what that means. You send in images, and I critique them. 5 to 6 your best images, put them on Flickr. Let's do this. Let's jump into this right now. So I'm calling this a studio set, and when I opened this up, I really liked it. I don't view these really beforehand, but as soon as I opened up, I really liked it. There's a lot of nice light. We'll jump into it to a second. So I got an email from Heminder. Hopefully I'm saying your name right, Heminder. And he goes, "Hey, dude, love your photography and your vlog. Keep up. Thank you very much. Thank you for tuning in. Glad you enjoy it. I'm relatively new to trying to find work, so I appreciate if you could help out and do your critique." There's his site. And gear, I always ask what kind of gear you're using. He's using the Nikon D300, a really strong, solid camera with two SB80DX flashes. So those are what I call one of the Nikon Strobus ones. It's what Zach Arias likes to use, and I have two as well, and some old manual focused lenses. So you got some good stuff, some really old-fashioned but solid stuff. I love the older gear. So we're going to jump right into it, and thank you for giving me permission to use it. So as I said, this is really kind of a studio-based one, and I like it. It's something different, than my other ones. So to kick this off, we have a purse shot. So with these, you got to think in terms of them being in a magazine. So one thing I really like is I like the separation light here, the top light coming down. You probably have light not directly over top, obviously, as you would get a major shadow, but you have it tilted probably a little bit of 90-degree in front coming down. That's why you can see it right here. The one thing is, it's just a little too dark in regards to on here. The detail looks really good. I would like to see a little bit wider. I would like to see more of the strap, and it's an okay studio shot. Maybe I want to see just a little more context. Maybe some more items out on the side or something like that, or just a little more. It just seems a little bit too dark and vignetted to me. So maybe if this was a little more brought up and you can see a little bit more of the strap, I know you're kind of hiding what's holding up, and I think you did a good job doing that. I just think it'd be a little bit more, and the detail looks pretty freaking sharp as well. Does it have? Nope, doesn't have the metadata. So let's just keep going. So we have ballpoint pens. It doesn't do much for me, only because it's really not symmetrical 100%. And what I mean is, it starts here and it just kind of takes you in a weird spot. Once again, it's ballpoint pens. Maybe you're thinking about doing an advertisement or something like that. It could work, but I want to see maybe different variation. But what would be cool is seeing kind of like the, was it Singular or AT&T when they did the bars going down. It's kind of cliche, but even out the frame a little bit more, spread it out. Or if you want to add a little bit of a curve, start this one over here and then curve it around, to something or towards a message or something like that. But what I do like is I do like the light on here, how it kind of falls off, and I do like the gradiated type of background that you had. But once again, it is just ballpoint pens. But I do like the lighting on it. So I think you got a really nice concept of your lighting, and the background, as I said, looks really nice, and I feel like you could use that a lot more. Okay, so we have a vase, or vase, however you like to say it. See, you have a really nice background. Actually, it's, can I click on it to make it bigger? Nope. Is that gonna? Oh, okay. Thank you. Add. Can't really make it bigger, but one big thing is it's a little tilted. So watch your angle there. As you see, it's tilted to a little bit to the right. Are you using plexiglass at the bottom to get that reflection? Because that's one thing a lot of people forget in product photography is you can get some reflection down at the bottom. So you can light it right and you can get a really nice reflection. But if you're doing that, I would show the full reflection, or at least majority of it. You could even come in a little tighter here, just back up a little bit more, because I'm sure you were using a prime lens. Does it show me? Still does not show me, but that's fine. And you'd be able to see a little bit more. It is a little bit too dark on here. I would definitely like to see this lit up, as this is the main product. You want that to stand out. But the biggest thing here is you went a little too bright on the background. And how do I know that is you overpower a little bit too much and you're losing contrast and you're getting that glowing effect. So if you took down maybe that a stop and a half, you'll see the big difference. The edges will pop out a lot more, and Yeah, just fill that in, and you'll see that the white, it's still going to be white, it's still going to be blown out, but it's not going to be overpowering the image. So that's important when you're doing studio work like that, is or any kind of headshot, and you're really trying to blow out the background. You're probably at full power on your SB80DX, but you just went a little bit too much, because you're losing the contrast here. So if you bring that back, dial that down a little bit, it will stand out a lot better. So moving on. We have it looks like some kind of amp, a bass rig. I mean, it just really shows kind of a, just a light. If anything, I would like to see more of it. Throw the bass up there with it to add a little more. There's just not a ton going on in this one, to be honest, because it's dark. You don't really have a ton of separation light on it. So if you're really trying to profile this, I would put this on some kind of white background, actually, because this whole thing is primarily dark and black. Or if anything, you really want to use a black background for some reason, I would definitely have some more light coming from the back, shooting from the other way, to really separate the shot. I think we have one more. But this one I think really needs a lot of work to do something more. But I'd say try this on a white background, or add the base to it, or add a white background. What do we got right here? I think this is the last one, and we have Natara. Is that it? If anything, I want to see this wider. The shadows are kind of interesting. I wish it was reversed, though. I wish the lighting was on this side, and then this side fell in the shadow, because you get a lot more, because that's the most facing to the camera. And it is a little bit off-centered. Maybe go, I think, a little wider, because you're cutting off down here as well. You're cutting off the statue, and you would definitely be able to get more. I think wider. Is this a macro shot? I wish I could see. I can't see what gear you're using, but it could be a little better. But once again, it is just a like a pendant or a statue shot or something like that. But wider, I think, would help, showing everything, showing a little more. Or if you really want detail, get right in there with that 105, and it'll work out very well. So I think one of your strongest things is you do know how to light, and that's great. And what you said here was you're just trying to find more work and everything like that, and you're relatively new. So the awesome part is you're learning how to light. You're spotlighting, you're highlighting what you need, some contrast with the shadows, and that's great. And I said, I think this is one of your best lighting techniques, and work with this gradiated background I think would work really, really awesome. So you know how to light, that's great. Some studio stuff, just improve it more, maybe a little bit, something more interesting. Definitely work with this white background. Just watch, once again, doing that, going too bright on the background. I guarantee you're probably at like full 1-to-1 power, blowing out the background, but when it hit the white, it comes back too much onto the camera sensor, and it really kind of loses the contrast on the sides and just glows. But I like the idea of the plexiglass. So you're heading in the right direction. Some tweaks, maybe some fill light, maybe a reflector, that type of thing to fill that in can really definitely step up your game. So I like what you're doing here with the spotlight effect. Great lighting and background here. You've got a mix of things. Just work on a little bit of things and keep developing your portfolio. I'd want to see it again, so send me an email if you want to work on it more. So that's what I got. This is iCritique number 15, some studio lighting. As I said, you got a great start. Just keep working with it, keep tweaking, and you got it. So if you guys want to send in your images, send them to eric@ericrossi.com. Give me a Flickr set of 5 to 6 of your best images, and I will review them on an upcoming episode of an iCritique coming up on Thursdays. I've got a few to catch up on, so I might throw up, more in the next couple weeks, because I was a bit behind. So that's all I got. Eric Rossi, the guy with the eye. That's iCritique number 15.